various modes, it's time to talk about performance. Final Fantasy XV on the Xbox One X is an interesting case. After the first couple of hours, I was extremely impressed. Image quality is excellent in comparison to the Pro, the frame rate is steady, and yes, the game is free of frame pacing issues. That's perhaps the biggest improvement of all. No matter which mode you use, the game runs using an adaptive VSync solution and thus does not exhibit any of these bad frame pacing issues present on the PS4 Pro when using the high mode. When placed side by side with the Pro then, you can see the difference for yourself. The frame time graph there on the left is full of inconsistencies on the Pro side, while the Xbox One X is completely stable. Both offer a 30 FPS update during this sequence, but the X provides a more fluid experience due to correct frame persistence. So all is good then, right? Well, unfortunately there's two issues with the X version which kinda took me by surprise. The first one centers on actual performance drops in key areas. The first major city you visit, Lestallum, is a great example of this. It's a gorgeous environment, and on Xbox One X, the frame rate does not hold steady while walking around this central area. This was the first time I ran into any performance issues at all while playing the game on Xbox One X, and I was kind of surprised by it. If we bring in the PS4 Pro version for comparison, you can clearly see that while it does suffer from bad frame pacing, the average frame rate is higher overall on Sony's console. The high mode on Xbox One X simply struggles to maintain solid performance in this area. Now it's true that the Xbox One X is rendering more pixels here, so the load is definitely higher, but you wouldn't expect it to drop this sharply. And if it was just this one area, it wouldn't be so bad, but these drops can pop up during normal gameplay as well. This area alongside the lake here is rather demanding, for instance. Between the multitude of enemies and the water effects sloshing around, the frame rate starts to take a sharp dive into the low 20s and sometimes even into the teens. This doesn't really seem right at all. Of course, once you finish the battle, it clears right up and the game is back to a solid 30 frames per second, but it still feels like this shouldn't be happening to this degree.
Oh, my chest! I can't breathe! I can't breathe! Oh shit! Oh shit! My chest is going!
Damage control rushing to the ring!
Man, you guys, let me tell you something, you guys are hitting me up left and right about this, like, Ryan, you need to see this, you desperately need to see this, so, wow, this is for you. Shout out to everybody who came by last night, chilled with us on the podcast, give a mass shout out to Big Money, mass shout out to JWags412, cool YouTuber, second time on there, so good to see him again, shout out to, Jack X62, King Thrash, and Double Shooter and Draco, aka Royal Flush. So shout out to everybody that came by, had fun. Oh, and the Melon Daddy also, my bad, or Melon Matt. There you go. So shout out to everybody who came by, had fun chilling with you guys, fun talking about gaming and everything of that nature. So I'm glad everybody enjoyed themselves. Wow. So where do we begin with this? Where do we begin with this? I mean, this is pretty telling. What you think? Pretty telling. Pretty telling, my dudes. If I remember correctly, when me and Thrash were on a certain podcast, these dudes swore up and down that we were lying and that the Xbox would have the better games in the long run, right? Isn't that what their main shtick was? Like, Xbox will have this, that, and the third, and ponies are mad because people don't, or because they don't have the best multi-plats. Remember that? That was their whole shtick. My question is, why would a PlayStation dude be mad over that type of performance, especially when it's in their favor? Why would they be mad over that? Why would PlayStation dudes be going around screaming about frame rates when they have games to look forward to? Why would PlayStation dudes be sitting like legit just crying over anything really when they got the most content next to Nintendo coming in the future? I don't get it, my dudes. I just don't get it. I really don't get it. I don't get it, my dudes. But hey, that's just how it is. People are just silly. They're silly. You know, it's funny how if I remember correctly, if I look back at a few trolls used to like legit attack this channel, I looked around, right? I noticed that a few of these trolls changed their account names. It's pretty funny. They changed their account names. It's hilarious. It's so hilarious. It's like, dog, I destroyed you that bad that you destroyed your account, that you changed your name. Love it though. It's funny. I love that. I really do love that. But I'm gonna be fair with this one right here. Okay, I'm gonna be a little fair. Okay. Number one, let's get the critical thing out the way. Let's get all the critical out the way, so that way it doesn't get overshadowed by the negative. Okay, let's get all the critical stuff out the way. For a console that's been hyped up for nearly 2 years, why are we seeing problems like this? And before I get some moron out of nowhere, out of left field saying, you're blaming the console for Square Enix problems, I'm like, dude, every single game on this console that has been tested with 4K assets, that has been tested with whatever patches they went for, has the exact same results. They have terrible frame rates with horrible screen tearing. Look at it. Look at Rise of the Tomb Raider. You would think Rise of the Tomb Raider was a brand spanking new IP, and that Rise of the Tomb Raider was going to be something that was going to take gaming by storm. When the reality is, Rise of the Tomb Raider is a 2015 game, and yet that game has terrible screen tearing. Quantum Break has the absolute worst screen tearing on this console. The worst screen tearing. The worst. You know what I'm saying? But you dudes don't want to see that. You dudes want to come at people and attack them. I just find that sad, my dudes. I find it sad. And I don't want to hear nobody say you're just attacking Xbox. Dude, I have been nothing but good to everybody, man. I've been giving theories. I've been giving, good like strategies, all that to all companies, especially Microsoft. I gave them like the best tips possible to beat Sony in the long run. All they have to do is get rid of Play Anywhere, invest in first-party exclusives, and legit restructure and redo everything that they've done this gen. And they can easily do that next generation, next year, or not next year, but next generation. They can easily do that. They can easily fix their problems, easily. Like, for example, soon as next generation starts, if Microsoft came out of the woodgate and said, you know what, no more Xbox Live. It's no longer paid subscription. It's free. Here, we got new games coming exclusively for the Xbox. Play Anywhere is gone. We're no longer merging with PC. That would secure a victory for Microsoft. But something tells me that won't happen because, you always got the morons. They got to act like they work for this company. But they lose money in the long run. They're already losing money in the long run, period, right now. You know how much money they've lost just rebranding everything? Or not rebranding everything, but in terms of R&D, they've lost a lot of more money than what you guys can possibly think of, and just buying and investing into the Xbox hardware. All the money that they've lost, for the most part, has gone into the hardware of the console. They have spent more time on hardware than they have on first-party exclusives. There is more consoles than there is pretty much exclusives at this point. There are more Xbox One X's, or Xbox Ones in general. There's more models than that. Remember, you had the base model. Then they had to come out with the Slim model to get rid of the Kinect and boost the power because the Kinect gimped the system. Then they came out with the X. And look at the X. The X is already like at a point where it's not, it's not anything to jump out your seat over. So I don't get you, dudes. I really don't get you. But you guys really claim people are upset. You claim people really do care about this console war. Nobody cares about this console war. You guys take this console war too seriously. And I'm telling you, man, this is what happens when you overhype something. This is what happens when you overstage your welcome in terms of hyping up something. All you do, all of you sound the same thing. Like you all sound the same way. When somebody has a debate with you, you all say the same thing, and you all come at people with the same retarded excuses and the same retarded defenses. You go, blame the developers. It's media bias. No, the reason why this console is doing that is because of the developer, because the developer didn't want to optimize properly. So you mean to tell me the developer that's been hyping up Rise of the Tomb Raider is not properly developing Rise of the Tomb Raider? No. I said it numerous times. Don't let these morons that don't know anything about tech fool you. The main problem with the Xbox One X is the CPU. But yeah, you morons don't want to listen to that. You morons want to come at people and say this thing's on par with a $1,500 PC.
Right.
And you guys want to say, oh, this console is the greatest thing ever. This thing can destroy your rig. This thing can destroy everybody's rig on the planet. This thing is so strong that it will push the industry in the right direction. PlayStation dudes will be salty over this console.
What you just said is one of the most insanely idiotic things I have ever heard. At no point in your rambling, incoherent response were you even close to anything that could be considered a rational thought. Everyone in this room is now dumber for having listened to it. I award you no points, and may God have mercy on your soul.
Right? Right? Listen, you can like Xbox, you can love Xbox, you can drool over Xbox all you want. At the end of the day, it's fine. You can like Xbox. I'm not saying you can't like an Xbox. I'm not saying you can't love an Xbox. I got no problem with anybody liking an Xbox, anything. You know what I'm saying? I have no problem with that. But when you go around and you lie to me, you lie to everybody else, and you spread this ridiculous propaganda. When you go around and you say all these racist things and all these silly, insults, and you expect people like me to not fire back at you, that right there, my friends, is where you officially just messed up. And I hate to break it to you, but I mean, it is what it is. I said it numerous times, man. Do not overhype yourself, because at the end of the day, you might got your console, and I'm happy that you got your console. Let's get that straight. I'm happy that you got your console. But at the end of the day, you got no games for this console. You have nothing. And if you don't believe me, you're welcome to type away in the comment section. You're welcome to try to debate me or King Thrash. But I promise you, it will not end well for you. Because you and I both know there are no games for the Xbox One X or the Xbox One. And that, my friends, is just simple fact. Okay? I will see you guys later. You guys have a good one. Deuces.